So, Wukong Gaming selecting Battlefield. Apparently, according to the stats, both teams' best map, but the fact is, though, Wukong have yet to win on it. Much like every other map. So they're actually just straight up taking HOTSLADY to their best map, a 4-1 ratio on Battlefield of Eternity, whereas Wukong are 0-3.
Yeah, both teams are probably going to feel very happy about it, especially HOTSLADY, as you said. 80% win ratio on this battleground. It all caters towards what Chinese teams love in the first place: aggression, brawling. Not really that much focus on the objectives, on the map rotations. So I'm really excited about what those two teams will bring to the table here. On the left-hand side, in the blues, we're going to see a HOTSLADY. Now, they're going to have the first ban and first pick. Abathur, right off the get-go. Isn't it amazing, Tetcher, how much Abathur has risen in terms of, you know, overall ban worthiness and just pick worthiness? It's insane.
It really is. I think a lot of that is to do with how many heroes that are currently in the meta just synergize so well with him. Genji, for example, is super high up. Illidan is jumping back in. Chen is viable because of Abathur, not a hero that just makes Abathur viable. Even jumping on an Uther, though, can just give you so much value. The whole point is just jump on someone with a little bit of sustainability, and then Abathur's just able to make that hero so hard to kill and such a menace.
By the way, we've had a question in chat by Aid494 asking about how the map banning system works and, you know, the whole decision-making process in the first place. Would you mind explaining over it?
Absolutely. So there are, in different tournaments, you have a certain amount of vetoes. In HGC China, you only get one veto each. There is usually a coin flip to decide who gets the veto. The first veto, that team chooses a map to remove from the map pool. The other team then gets to remove the second map, and then the first team chooses which map they play on.
Exactly. And from there on, it's basically one team gets the first pick. Ideally, the team that did not choose the first map to play on, as we saw it here. So HOTSLADY, they basically were the first pick, first ban, because Wukong Gaming chose the battleground to play on for the first game. So you always have a very fair and balanced process. Of course, after losing a map, the loser gets to decide whether they want to choose the next battleground or whether they want to have first pick and first ban in the next game. Usually what pro teams do these days is they go for first pick and first ban, because that allows you to control the draft a little bit more in the first ban phase, if you will. But every now and then, teams actually go for a map pick, and that's something Tetra and I wanted to see a lot more frequently, especially in China.
And Talarin, yes, that is 100% the wrong way round. We will message someone about that to attempt to get that repaired. Wukong did not beat RPG 2-0 last Tuesday. It was very much the other way around, due to Wukong Gaming still currently sitting at a solid 0-12 in terms of map ratio.
Exactly. They're still waiting for their first victory in one of those best of twos. For all of you guys who are tuning in for the first time to HGC China, by the way, just a quick wrap up. This system here is a little bit different to what we're used to seeing in the other regions like Korea, EU, and NA. Instead of best of fives, we have best of twos. However, we have a double round robin system, which means we're going to have more games as a whole. Each team is going to be facing each other at least twice, unless there's a tiebreaker. Then we might have more encounters here. But that is basically a wrap of HGC China. Very explosive, very fast-paced, and I think it just fits the region so well.
Yeah, it really does. But we should talk about some of the heroes that we've actually seen being picked here at the start. So, HOTSLADY, standard as all can be, potentially double support comp, getting that Uther first pick. Whereas Wukong starting out with a bit of a burst comp. I would say this is more their style, but once again, that a new brat, got to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't end up giving more kills than it's actually worth for itself. Gasso was just hovered as a ban. I expect that was a misclick.
Most certainly.
We're going to see Rhaegar as the one removed. Very good hero to go with Greymane and Anubarak, so very fair ban there.
Yeah, so the top two supports in the game right now, or should I say the two most popular supports in the game these days, especially in China, Uther and Auriel are both secured by HOTSLADY, and they're trying to sort of choke Wukong Gaming out in terms of supports. They're banning away the Rhaegar. Remains to be seen whether they wanted to pick him or not. I think there's still a couple of good supports left available. Malfurion, for example, he has found his way back into the global meta a little bit. People have realized what the best builds are, how good the talents are, so I'm really happy to see that we still have him around. But Rhaegar is certainly a really good candidate as well. Now we see Arthas as a solo frontliner, and as you said, it's a very classic approach here. The old E-Star with people like Xingxi, they really established this playstyle with Oriel and Uther and Vala, and they made it competitive at the mid-season brawl, where they performed so well with it.
And even with Alarak, this is looking at this draft. If you just took away the team name, this could 100% just be a new or old E-Star draft.
Yeah, absolutely.
This looks exactly like what they would do. The Alarak should be pretty effective, as we've seen on this map. Telekinesis into Immortal Stun could be devastating, but we can see the Malthael was taken by Wukong Gaming. I don't think we've seen them play it yet. So this is going to be a good opportunity to see how good they've got it. And Morales going to be their healer by Moon.
I really like this Malthael pick for Wukong Gaming for multiple reasons. Obviously, he's a very, very strong hero on this map, being able to just shred the Immortal like barely any other hero in the game. And secondly, I think he's a very easy hero to make work. It's not like he has the most craziest of mechanics like a Zeratul would have, for example, or an Illidan. Malthael has a very similar purpose to those heroes, but he's not really as challenging mechanically, I do want to say. So even teams like Wukong Gaming are probably going to have massive, or probably going to gain massive value from that pick in particular, I think. So it's a good choice. Indeed,
he's a really good hero in general. We're playing on the live patch right now, not the PTR one, and also even if it was PTR, Stukov would not be available. Feel free to stand your most creative Stukovs using that squid emote, by the way. I'm interested what creative Stukov is. But yeah, we're currently playing on the live patch, so Malthael was nerfed. Hasn't seemed to have made a huge difference. No. He's still kind of wrecking stuff.
So Blizzard touched those heroes very gently. It's not like they pulled out the hammer and gave him a good whack. It was more like a gentle approach. Both Genji and Malthael, the two heroes that have been dominating the international scenes for a long time now, were nerfed, but it was not so hard to make them irrelevant anymore. They're still very often to be seen, and it remains to be seen whether Blizzard wants to tackle those heroes further.
Indeed, we will have to wait and see. Right now, there are counters known to him, and he can just get blown up. Silences, for example, any kind of stun, polymorphs, all incredibly effective ways of dealing with him due to his abilities. He's not that useful.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the day here for HGC China. It is going to take place on Battlefield of Eternity, and we're going to have HOTSLADY in the blues against their opponents, Wukong Gaming. Now, for HOTSLADY, we've got Y on the Vala, Palmy on his Oriel, Leas this time on the Uther, Mang on Alarak, and Carlo on his Arthas.
Whereas on the other side, it is going to be bottom of the table, Wukong Gaming, with Ailing playing Cassia, Lao Hu on the Malthael, Zero on the Noob, Moon on Greymane, and Lang playing the Morales. That's a bit of a role swap. I'm pretty sure Moon was the support the last couple days.
Definitely can confirm. Lang was more of a flex player. He used to be the bruiser, assassin player. Definitely cool to see him on the Morales for the first time, or the support role in general. So yeah, in terms of builds, we see the charge strikes coming in for Cassia, always a very solid choice, especially on this battleground where single target DPS is of the essence. We see a normal W build for Uther, really cool to see here. And oh, no error build for Vala, that is quite surprising.
We are... Oh, hang on, that Discord strike was interrupted, did not land at a good knockup by a noob, but he was countered into quite quickly with the Uther stun. But yeah, the Vala build is still very popular on this map, but when you are going with the double support Ariel, very close there, Ailing also able to escape, lots of close calls this early. When you're going with the double support Vala build, you really do need that energy in order to win the team fight. So a lot of the teams will focus the standard build anyway, because Vala's damage output is still exceptionally good as is. So it's not a huge deal missing out on that pokey build from long range. They are going for a more team fighty style with the Alarak anyway. So this is fine. This isn't too out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I would say you brought up all the points needed to really explain and elaborate on this build a little more. It's probably going to be a standard W build. Hold a second. While Leas is getting chased. Nice grenade by Lang. Is he going to get out? What? Oh.
He gets healed. The cocktail's not enough, and they're going to get out. Now the question is, can they turn it onto Wukong as Arthas pushes forward? Anub gets the stun up, but there's still a lot of damage coming onto Moon. But good healing by Lang. Yeah. Moon is able to pull back.
This is good.
The Valor from the side, but that armor from Cassie is enough to keep her alive, but Alarak becomes first blood.
Yeah, big win here for Malthael in that bottom lane here. Lao Hu getting a kill over his opponent. And dying in a one-on-one lane is always the worst thing that could happen to you, because not only are you going to lose XP by giving a kill to the enemy team, but also it's going to take your sweet time to actually make it back in lane to soak for minions again. Your teammates might have to send an additional person to soak up in the meantime, so it really ruins and breaks your entire laning and early game formation. So a really, really good victory for Wukong Gaming, and they actually have a 200 HP lead on the Immortal. Let's see if they're going to be able to keep it up.
Yeah, so far they do. Remember, HOTSLADY need these points. They are currently only 1 point behind RPG, and there's a chance that RPG could lose against KT, which means KT could start to get close to HOTSLADY. So HOTSLADY need any points they can gather from this to either move themselves slightly further up the table, or to try and at least create some distance between them and KT.
Wukong Gaming, now they're fully committing. Look at that Malthael damage on the Immortal. Lothar Morales stays safe all the time. Zero with nice stuns and flanks. Are they going to be able to make it? It looks like it.
They are going to be able to make it. The race, when you're using only one hero for the race, is not enough. So that is going to be a Wukong Gaming with the first Immortal of the game. But HOTSLADY putting on the pressure, piling it on and trying to force heroes back. Nice port there. A Zero. Takes a little bit of harassment, not too much.
Sometimes you just enter that point of no return where you've been channeling the Hearthstone for so long, you do not cancel it even if the enemies are about to enter your brush. Now, we see the Red Immortal making its way here towards HOTSLADY's base. It's not the strongest of Immortals, but it gets the job done. One tower, the second tower is likely going to fall as well. And HOTSLADY, they're not really looking in decent shape here. Uther's still very low, Lias that is. I don't think they can really defend this too long.
They're getting poked pretty badly. Even this aggressive fending, we very rarely see so many fends used in this early game, but it's really getting some damage value. There's the blind. Are we going to see another fend? Nope, just a lightning fury, which still does a big old chunk of damage.
Yeah, Cassia, really, we get to see all the value she can provide to her team against a solo DPS Vala, because let's face it, there isn't really a whole lot of damage available for HOTSLADY when Alarak is in the solo lane. It's only the Vala, and especially since she didn't go for the Hungering Arrow build, excuse me, she has to rely a lot on her basic attacks and her Ws, and if Cassia is not really in the vicinity, or if she keeps on moving to block the damage, there's not going to be much that Vala can do. So, really, really stable, really, really solid early game here by Wukong Gaming. Super cool.
Indeed, and the argument here is that it doesn't matter, it's a multi-shot build, but that's not the case. The whole point of the multi-shot build is you are getting those auto attacks off to get stacks of punishment, which gives you the extra damage, the extra stacks of hatred, which stack the talent punishment, to make your multi-shot do more damage. So you get bigger AoE damage, which gives you more energy, etc., etc. It all stacks. This is why the Valor Ariel combo has a 70% win rate, which is kind of crazy. Nice route onto a noob here. Zero getting slowed by others, but a good healing by Lang.
Though.
Too much danger. Yeah, they're trying to turn it around. It's now only Pommy in danger, but he should get out quite easily.
Yeah, Lang also so far. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's the point of if you are able to blind Valor or at least prevent her auto attacks from gaining value, then you really lower her value even with this build, not with an auto attack build. The auto attack build, currently the most useless. You will almost never see it picked.
Exactly. So you brought up a good point. Like in order to get your W to the fullest effects on the Vala, you need to attack, right? The more auto attacks, the more hatred stacks you have, the more damage it's going to deliver. But if you get blinded, not only are you not stacking them as quickly, you might actually end up losing stacks altogether if you're then pressured back and you can't even deliver any of those attacks. So really, really good point. But also I gotta say that Lang on the Morales so far has made very little mistakes. He's always been able to stay out of harm's way. He's also been able to support his team members accordingly. The cleanses haven't really been used yet. We're going to see how useful they're going to be. But so far, I gotta say, this is the most stable and solid performance by Wukong Gaming we have seen to this day. Now,
I don't know what's with them. They're just oh, hang on. Teleport. Stun. Nice, but not enough to burst it down. And at the same time, not landing into a structure. But I know what you mean. This Wukong Gaming, this entire first rotation of this double round robin that we are seeing in this format appears to be just them figuring out what they're doing, and they're approaching that point now.
I mean, once again, no offense, but they really they seem to have listened to us, what we've been preaching for multiple days now. Don't go for these crazy exotic drafts that might work in theory, but only if your team play is on point, top notch. Instead, go for heroes that are easy to execute with very little risk to mess up, like the Malthael, like the Morales. All you need to do as Morales is make sure that you're not getting caught out of position, and it's going to be very hard for the enemy team to actually punish you while your healing output is going to be very strong. Now Zero going in with the Anubrek, the Impale lands, and there's a lot of follow-up on Arthas.
Vala with the hot pursuit though, able to move around, so she's not caught, but she is in the blind though, which is once again a little bit irritating, and Ailing able to drop some good damage with the Lightning Fury. As you can see, everyone on WKG Gaming very healthy. They weren't able to pick up a kill, but they are still looking fairly solid. Lang's the only one who's not healed, but his trait is going to top him off pretty easily.
Yeah, really cool. You don't have to go back when you're Lieutenant Morales. Similar to Murden, you have that really beautiful self-healing provided by your trait. Now, Laohu getting caught out of position, getting silenced, no more healing for him, and he gets taken out. He was a little bit too deep here, tried to get some damage on the enemy Immortal, but now this might snowball out of control. Cassia in trouble.
Cassia trying to go into the backline to gain some health and focus down wide, because he knew he was in serious danger here and couldn't get to his own Immortal. Instead, though, Carlo, the double Discord strike, though, and that's going to force the noob to back up. The Hungry Arrow so close. The double kill with the lightning. I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was just the perfect lineup. Every Alarek's dream just came true here, taking out 2 targets with 1 flash. Fantastic performance here by HOTSLADY. It all started with Malthael getting caught out of position and the rest of the team trying to help them. And oftentimes in Heroes of the Storm, when you lose a member that was so caught off guard, that was so overextending, you don't want to reinforce that failure. You want to stay back. The death timers pre-level 10 are not the highest anyway, so you could have maybe defended your own Immortal as 4. Maybe you could have gone back to lane and soaked some more XP towards 10. Unfortunately, WKG Gaming, they're falling for that little trap where you try to help someone that can't be helped anymore.
Mr. Kendrick, it is the deadly charge coming in from Alarak here. They, like, to be fair, there's not a huge amount of burst against him other than Greymane to really block, so sure, not going to argue with it, might as well just go in and get the backline damage. You're not going to block a huge amount of damage, so let's see what you can do. Whereas on the other side, it's going to be a stim drone coming in, and we're also seeing a ball lightning. So we'll see I'm
pretty sure the moment you know, Lang of the Morales saw that talent being locked in, the deadly charge that is, all red alerts buttons in his Space Marine suit basically started blinking, because that means heavy diving onto the Morales. And combine that with the Divine Shield, by the way, Alarak doesn't even need the Counter-Strike. He doesn't even need to fear for his life.
Indeed, we're going to see how well it works. For now, Alarak is 1v1ing Cassia in the
bot
lane and winning! Oh my god, get outplayed Cassia as Alarak gets the kill, even with that ball lightning on him. Now we see Malthael going deep. They're trying to take out Y, but the E just keeping him alive. But now Pommy is kind of zoned as Malthael still sits in this backline doing crazy damage. Strafe is interrupted by the Anubrek as they go in, trying to pick up the Morales, which they do. The Greymane goes down shortly afterwards. Now it is just Zero, and Malthael has managed to escape hiding up the top there and is able to port back.
You can't stop death. Just got a whole new meaning here when he's on the retreat, it seems. Now, a very aggressive defense here by WKG Gaming. They actually tried to force a decision before the Immortal was even able to reach the keep. However, they still ended up losing it. Vala, Y here, is absolutely on fire. He even got the Divine Shield so he could move in more aggressively against Morales. A swap on Anubrek, and I think, Thatcher, this is going to be it. HOTSLADY on the warpath.
Looks like it. Even the Stim Drone Greymane, they're out of the Immortal. The Stim Drone Greymane was only attacking at range because Arthas was just taking so much damage. The only person he could get in range of. So the Immortal expiring. HOTSLADY do retreat back with the Stim Drone expired. They're looking good. They even dodged the spear as they just pull back and decide to play the safe game.
Well, for a moment, I thought it was actually GG because there had still been 2 people waiting to be respawned here on the side of WKG Gaming. I think it was Malthael and Anubrek, so technically speaking, there was no frontline. However, the Stim Drone Greymane, when you're not really in the best condition in the first place, looks rather scary. So I like the call by HOTSLADY. They can afford to play it slow, a 3-level lead. They can just wait for the next Immortal phase. They can wait for the next town to be arrived, and then... But they don't even need to wait. They're just going in right here, right now.
Ball Lightning getting some good damage onto
Oh,
Carlo,
yeah.
but he's
Oh, yeah.
tanking through. They destroy the backline of Wukong Gaming, leaving only Anubarak and Malthael. They lose nothing of themselves. They were thinking about going for another core. They decided against it though, because once again, it's still pretty early game. They're scared of getting killed off this early.
Yeah, and when you're so far ahead like HOTSLADY is in this game, you really need to be careful not to waste time, because as you said, the death timers are still sitting at 15 to 16 seconds. That's not the longest amount of ever. So oftentimes teams, when they are so far ahead, they make the mistake of trying to go core only to realize, we can't really finish it anyway because those guys are back already, and we just wasted a couple of minutes where we could have instead gone for a different objective, or we could have taken more mercenary camps. So I like what HOTSLADY is doing instead. They're trying to get value elsewhere. The Curse Bullet missing, unfortunately. Also, the Stim Drone being used.
They used Curse Bullet, which missed. They won. The grenade sent Uther the wrong way. The Stim Drone is used. This is just a disaster. At least the Deadly Charge is interrupted. There's Cocoon on Arthur's. Deadly Charge to the back, silencing Morales. And it's immediately going to be a blow-up onto Cassia as Greymane tries to turn around onto Y, but it's not going to be enough. The healing trying to keep Moon alive, who's trying to get out of range. Cleanse drop just in case. But it's still going to be Malthael and Cassia who are dropped. Lang may actually join him as he's team mounted. Carlo don't care. Finally going to give up. Just like, oh yeah, my team's already left. I'm going to leave as well.
So there were a couple of mistakes that Wukong Gaming made here. I think their original position wasn't even the worst one. They caught a couple of members by HOTSLADY off guard. They were kind of separated from the rest of their teammates. However, no Cocoon was used. And when you catch someone, you have to immediately drop the Cocoon, so it forces the teammates to either keep on running when they realize, oh, we can't save the Cocoon target, or it forces them to stay around to maybe focus on someone else in the meantime. That's the mean aspects of Cocoon. You force a reaction by the enemy team, and more often than not, will it be the wrong one.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Wukong can try and make the comeback here. There's a talent behind. It's 13 to 16.
It's all in. It's all in.
In favor of HOTSLADY. They have to go all in. A noob starting it up. Double knock-up. Probably very nearly getting caught in the Immortal Stun. But they are moving forward. But Valor is just dropping crazy damage output. The Ball Lightning coming in. The double Discord strike. Cassia drops. A noob barely survives. Carlo survives. Oh my god, the deadly charge into the backline. Lang may survive here. Dodges the telekinesis. Runs up to the keep. Zero, not so lucky. That's 4 heroes down. The support's the only one left. And round 2 at the core. HOTSLADY going in for the win.
That was an absolute massacre by Alrek here. The Rite of Rakshir, the Discord strike, as you said, there is so much damage accumulated in that powerhouse by now that Wukong Gaming cannot hope to win a team fight if they don't shut that target down. And guess what? Thanks to the double support, it is extremely hard to do that in the first place. So, HOTSLADY, they're about to destroy the enemy's core. 1%, there it goes. GG. Really solid performance after a rough start. Wukong Gaming just crumbled under the pressure as time went on. However, though, we still want to give them credit for their best performance in the entire season so far.
Yeah, Wukong Gaming, they really seem to be good in the early game. Even showing up against E-Star last week, they have shown that they have this good early game potential. It's just their mid game and their late game just doesn't appear to exist. Like, they always find a way to be, yeah, we look really good, and we're like, maybe they're different now. Nope, it's always the same. Yeah, they always end up getting super far behind by the time the late game comes around somehow, despite having a kill advantage at the start, and even sometimes an objective advantage. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with them.